some of you guys are still eating, so go ahead and do that. But we're going to go ahead and start with our ceremony. So, I'm going to have everybody simmer down for a little bit. All right. So, on behalf of the IHSBCA and the Executive Council, I'd like to welcome you to tonight's festivities and the 42nd Annual IHSBCA Hall of Fame Banquet. I'd like to thank all the coaches, past and present, that have worked long hours to make events like this and others happen. Without the volunteer efforts of these people, the Hall of Fame Banquet, the North-South All-Star Series, and other events wouldn't function or exist. I'd like to invite all the coaches, young and old, to get involved and make your voice heard in our association. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize just a few special guests. A good guy tonight, maybe not so good in April, in May. IHSAA umpire, Mr. James Robinson. Also, from Jocelyn's, Mr. Mark Fleckinger, who provides the rings for our coaches of the year. And also special thanks are in order to Sweet Lou, who's out here, Mr. Jeff Luzader, for broadcasting the press conference that Red Conference earlier and doing tonight's banquet. You can view this Hall of Fame banquet as well as previous Hall of Fame banquets by going to YouTube and then searching IHSBCA and typing in the year afterwards. So of course this one will be 2020, and you'll get this banquet. If you want to get last year's, 2019, and so on. I'd also like to give a thank you to Mr. Steve Crawl of IndianaRBI.com, who does a tremendous job of covering Indiana baseball. I think you'll notice, if you look into the program, a lot of our media awards, Steve won in various districts. Now, I'd like to introduce our Assistant Executive Director from North Central, Mr. Phil McIntyre.
Thank you, Jeff. What a wonderful evening to celebrate so many things. All our inductees for the Hall of Fame, and all the accomplishments of our coaches from the 2019 season. At this time, the first acknowledgement is going to be our 2019 Victory Club Award winners. When I call their names, please come out in front. Please hold your applause to the end. For a 100-win milestone last year in 2019 season, Ben McDaniel, 6 years at Columbus North High School. Jason Combs, 8 years at Decatur Central High School. Jeff McCune, 7 years, South Putnam High School. Mark Schellinger, 10 years, New Prairie High School. Jeff Callahan, 6 years, Bedford North Lawrence High School. 200-win milestone. Jeff Klosser, 13 years, Alexandria High School. Doug Belmer, 19 years, Oldenburg Academy. Mark Coos, 14 years, Woodland High School. We jump up to the 400-win milestone. Kip McWilliams, 12th year, Indiana Tech University. Brian Jennings, 24 years, Griffith High School. And now our 500-win milestone. Gary Rogers, 34 years, Leo High School. Lee Selby, 31 years, Jay County High School. We are now at our 600 win milestone. Steve Strayer, 27 years, Crown Point High School. Tim Terry, 39 years, South Vermilion High School. We now reach our 800th win milestone. Terry Gobert, Jasper High School, 32 years. And ladies and gentlemen, 1,000 win milestone, Dave Pishker, 32 years, Andrean High School. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a round of applause for all of these coaches and their victory milestones. Outstanding. Thank you, gentlemen. Our next presentation is our 2019 District Coaches of the Year. They have been voted by their coaches in their district of last year's season for their accomplishments. When I call their names, please come get your plaque. Hold all applause to the end. In District A, Coach Steve Strayer, Crown Point. District B, Coach Todd Evans, Valparaiso. District C, Greg Dykus, Penn High School. District G, Keith Hatfield, Center Grove High School. District I, Corey Good, Rochester High School. District L, Richard Winsenreed, Lawrence North High School. District N, Bob Jones, Edgewood High School. District N, Derek Ellis, Jeffersonville High School. District O, Terry Gobert, Jasper High School. In District P, Andy Fisher, Heritage Hills High School. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 District Coaches of the Year. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to ask Mark Flickinger from Jostens to be part of this next presentation, as we are going to announce our 2019 State Coaches of the Year. In the state finals last year in 2019, University defeated Washington Township 4-1, and their head coach of Class 1A 2019 Coach of the Year is Coach Chris Eastep. In the Class 2A state championship game, Alexandria Monroe defeated Southbridge 4-3. Your 2019 Class 2A Coach of the Year, Jeff Klosser. In the Class 3A 2019 state finals, Andrean defeated Edgewood 2-1, which gives us our Class 3A 2019 state Coach of the Year, Dave Pishker. In the Class 4A state finals, Hamilton Southeastern defeated Columbus East 3-2. That gives our Class 4A 2019 State Coach of the Year to Jeremy Sassanella. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our 2019 State Finals Coaches of the Year. Coach Fisher, be so kind to stay up here. How you doing, Coach? At this time, our Executive Director, Brian Abbott, has a special award that we'd like to present to Andre and Coach Fisker. Let me read these words. Entering the regional semifinal of the 2019 state tournament on June 1st, Coach Fisker was just one win from breaking Ken Schreiber's all-time record of 1,010 wins. It only took 5 innings for the 59ers to advance to the regional championship game, upending Griffith 11-0, and giving their head coach win number 1,011 with the overall record. Andre went on to win 3 more games, including their 7th state title, bringing now the all-time winningest Indiana high school baseball coach's career wins total to 1,014 wins. The IHSBCA would like to congratulate Coach Fisker on the milestone accomplishment, and ladies and gentlemen, we all congratulate you, Coach Fisker, by being the all-time winningest coach. Congratulations again, Coach. Wow, those are unbelievable accomplishments from last year. But let's talk about the accomplishments for a baseball career. At this time, I would like to announce all our Hall of Famers that are here tonight to celebrate this unbelievable induction of our new Hall of Famers. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until everyone has been announced. And please hold your applause to the very end. I'm going to apologize in advance if I missed somebody that didn't get checked in, and I'll ask at the end that I forgot anybody. Okay. Hall of Famers from the class of 2019. Ron McLean was a trainer for the Toronto from Warren Central High School. 2019 inductee, Pat O'Neill, Danville High School, Brownsburg High School. 2019 inductee, Bob Schellinger, LaPorte, South Bend, umpire and coach. Class of 2016, active coach, Brian Kuster, South Spencer, 4 state championships. 2016, active coach, Phil Webster, Southport High School, 600 wins and a state championship for Decatur Central. Class of 2015, retired coach Chip O'Neill and wife Linda from South Bend Clay, 500 plus wins. Class of 2014, coach Dave Bishkov, New Haven, 500 plus wins and 3 Final Fours. 2014 retired coach Gary DeHaven and wife Carol from Benton Central, 600 wins. Class of 2012, coach Tim Bourdonnais, Lafayette Central Catholic, 7 state championships. 2012, coach Ty Callaway and his wife Dallas from Western High School, 600 plus wins and a state championship. Class of 2011, coach Greg Dykus, Penn High School, 500 plus wins and 3 state championships. Class of 2010, coach John Froge, Crawfordsville High School, 600 plus wins with 2 state championships. 2009, coach Mike Frame, Huntington University, over 700 wins and still counting. 2009, Coach Brian Dudley, Wapahani, 700+ wins and a state championship. Class of 2008, Coach Dave Gandolf, Center Grove and Cecina, over 700 wins. Class of 2007, Coach Terry Gobert, Jasper High School, 5 state championships, 9 semi-state titles, and 800 wins. 2007, Dyer Miller, New Point, Decatur County, 30+ years of a professional player and coach. 2007, retired Coach Joe Rademacher, Warree, 400+ wins and a state finalist. Class of 2006, Coach Dave Pishker, Andrean, 1,000 wins and 7 state championships. Class of 2004, retired Coach George Ferris, Taylor High School, over 600 wins. Class of 2002, retired Coach John Wirtz, Indianapolis Roncalli, 600+ wins and a state finalist. 2002, retired Coach Paul Grease, Evansville Central, 400 wins. Class of 2001, retired Coach Kenny Seitz and his wife Kathy from Hamilton Southeastern, over 500 wins, and he's still coaching today in the Southeastern program. Class of 2000, retired Coach Dennis Katz, Noblesville, 400+ wins. Class of 1998, Coach Jake Burton, McCutcheon High School, 800+ wins and a state championship. Class of 1996, retired Coach Gary O'Neill, Madison High School, 600+ wins and a state championship. 1994, retired Coach Tim Nante and wife Joyce from Princeton, 400+ wins and a state finalist. Class of 1992, retired Coach Don Sherman, Huntington North, 600+ wins, and on the organizing committee of the IHSBCA in 1971. Class of 1990, retired Coach Ray Howard, Jasper High School, 300+ wins, and still assisting in Jasper, and also the Executive Director of our Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame. Have I missed anybody? Any Hall of Famers? Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all these Hall of Famers a round of applause. At this time, I would like to introduce Terry Gobert from Jasper High School, as he has an introduction of our Hall of Fame Spotlight Person of the Year.
Denny, if you'd stand, please. Most people get nervous when I get up there, but Denny Cass did a great job in Noblesville. You can read his bio in there, but some significant things that Denny did. He started the 9-star camp, which was kind of baseball's answer to the 5-star camp. He was a leader in developing the junior showcase, which has helped countless players over the years and continues to do that to this day. He's had a major impact on Indiana baseball, and it's pretty cool that since he's been out of coaching, he still continues to make Indiana baseball better. He's helped out numerous players over the years because of all that work. So would you please join me and everyone at Sid's Bar by giving Denny a nice welcome. Now, two things I thought I'd never say, but this is a great group. And one is Go Alice's and Go Slicers. And Brian, it's great. He has to go in the Hall of Fame. He's the closest we got to give an invitation. I think that says a lot about Brian and a lot about the rest of you in this room. That we had to have Brian come up. He does a great job for our program. I want to congratulate him. I want to introduce the man who I followed at Jasper High School. He runs our Hall of Fame. He just does an outstanding job. We're the best in the country for a high school Hall of Fame. Ray Harper.
This year we have one nominee, an inductee to the Hall of Fame, who could not have representation this year. There was one individual member of his family. The inductee was George Cuppy, who played way back when. In fact, he was a teammate of Cy Young, and they pitched together. He also, if you'll notice in the very front page on the inside cover, there is a poem or a statement that was made when Lou Krieger got inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame that was accepted by, I'm not sure, her name was Annette Drone, I'm not sure the relation, but he and George Cuppy were business partners in a billiard parlor, appropriately named the Batteries. Cuppy was a pitcher and Krieger was a catcher. The representative could not be here, but we assure you that his plaque, one is already in the Hall of Fame, and one that will go to the representative from him is at Logansport and will be delivered to him. So if you might, in absence, you give it a round of applause for George Cuppy. In high school, Blackford. College, Taylor University. He stood out as a baseball player. Even more so as a coach. For 20 years at Northfield, 20 plus wins in 12 of the 20 years. Numerous conference titles, as well as two 2A state championships in 2001 and 2012. His high school alma mater called in 2013. He started the rebuild of Bruin baseball. In 2014, ended an 8-year losing streak. In 2017, recorded the first winning season since 2005, and garnered a sectional title, the first they had since 2009. Recognized as 2A Coach of the Year twice, District Coach of the Year 7 times, and now the 196th inductee into the Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame. I give you Tony Hugan.
My whole life, with the name Hugan, I always went last. My luck today, they made me first. Congratulations to all the inductees. I'm honored to know our names will forever be linked in the class of 2020. Baseball has been very good to me and my family. My great-grandfather coached the Hartford City Merchants, and my uncle and dad coached Little League baseball for many years. I guess the game runs in our blood. At 16, I helped a teammate and his dad coach a Babe Ruth team. At 19, I had my own Babe Ruth team, and I've coached every year since, except for 1990. I've never considered myself a great coach, but I think I know what I'm doing. A few parents might beg to differ. You can't please everybody. An important thing I've learned is that all the knowledge in the world is useless if you can't communicate it well enough and don't have the kids willing to listen. For the most part, I've been fortunate to coach kids who are hardworking, dedicated, disciplined, and bought into what we taught. There were a few who did initially, but due to our staff's hard work and the leadership of a lot of our kids, most came around. My goal every year is to mold and guide the talent that we have into a cohesive, fundamentally sound unit that competes at the best that we can in a manner that reflects positively on our school and community. I'm sure many kids get tired of hearing me say, represent yourself, family, school, and community with class. But once they bought in, we focused on becoming a better baseball team, and we did that often. This recognition does not occur without coaching hundreds of kids and coaching with great assistants. Some teams obviously are more talented than others, but together we did our best to coach them up within the system that we built. And when you get those talented groups, everything eventually falls into place and you have success. Sure, we all had our challenges, everybody does, yet we persevered. The efforts of those kids at Northfield led to 404 wins in 20 years. I couldn't be more proud of what those kids accomplished. You have to have pitching, and when you have a left-handed strike machine in Ryan Kiefaber, who won 48 games in 4 years, 2 of those wins taking about 75 minutes apiece. I don't know who was more happy about that, me or my wife. Jason Stanley, who's here today, went 17-0 his junior and senior year, and he wasn't even our number 1, he was our 1B. Sean Smith, Jimmy Wallen, Bryce Schaefer, Josh Wilcox, Nick Dunn, Ty Mills, Tyler Palmer, those guys combined won over 150 games among those few names. They made us guys look really good. Helps to have great hitting, high average guys like Brian Tayo, Andy Rozier, Matt Holmes, and Aaron Hampton, to name a few. But you also have to have those grinders, those kids that maybe aren't as talented as somebody else is, but they just will themselves to be great through their work ethic. They listen and buy in. They're difference makers who make or break a team. I have 1,000 stories I can share, but they gave me 5 minutes, so I picked a few that popped in my head of those grinder types. Michael Galley wasn't a gifted baseball player. Frankly, he scared me to death in the outfield because I never knew he was going to catch it or not, but he had a cannon. He didn't want to hit because he got hit in the head in Little League, so that made me happy because that meant I could play 10th guy, one less family be mad at me. In the first game of the sectional in 01, we were down 5-2 in the 5th inning, and there was a shot to right field, and there were 6 runs about to score, and Michael Galley picked up the ball and threw a 1-hop rocket to the plate and instantly changed that entire game. 4 games later, John Miller, a 9th hitter who could hit a fastball but little else, laid down a 2-out full-count RBI bunt against a kid throwing 86 miles an hour in the #1 team in the state and led us to a 3-1 victory. If those 2 plays do not happen, I'm not standing here. Doug Dillon threw out a runner at the plate in the 7th and 06. Again, an average kid, had a great heart. We went on to win 2-1 an inning later. If he doesn't make that play, we don't win the conference that year. That's a team that I remember fine. They didn't win the state, but in 06, we had a group of hard-working, great kids who were fun to coach, who over-exceeded my expectations, and we made it to the Final Four. Those kids reached their potential and more. I'm hoping maybe I had a little bit to do with that. Hunter Wells may be the most interesting character I ever had. Hunter was a wrestler and not a good baseball player, to be honest, when he was a freshman. Hunter played because all his friends did. The next year, or after the season was over, he wanted to quit. I think I made him cry several times. When Hunter ran the bases are shaped like a diamond, and he ran the bases like a diamond. Connect the dots, never looped, it was pull my hair out. But he came back because his friends played. At the end of sophomore year, he was my starting right fielder. He played all through his junior year, and his senior year, he played right field on a state championship team. That kid's desire to be great at baseball when he wasn't a baseball player still amazes me. And those are the type of kids you've got to have success. And he ended up being the L.B. Phelps Award winner in 2012. And I got a lot of other examples, but obviously we don't have time. But those are a few of the examples of things that I remember from our career. There are a lot of people I need to thank for making this possible. My wife Lisa is my best friend, the one who lifts me up when I'm down, and takes me down a notch when I get too big for my own good, which may be difficult for her tonight. But she spent way too much time alone every spring, and that's on top of the fact that I've been an athletic director for 17 years. I don't see her very much. But she's always been supportive, and I love her dearly. Lisa, thank you for supporting my passion for coaching. The one regret I have from coaching is time away from my kids. I've missed much of their lives doing what I do. Thankfully, I'm fortunate they're growing up to be great kids. I'm glad they're here tonight. I'm very proud of what they've accomplished. My oldest is soon to be an optometrist, Dr. Stephanie Ugan, which is amazing. I couldn't be more proud of her. Brandon and Ellie are 2 great fun kids with a bright future once they figure out, like we all do, what they're going to do with their life. My 2 stepsons, Brandon and Christian, are growing up to be great young men as well. And I thank my mother-in-law for being here as well tonight. Thank you all for your love and support. Thanks to my mom and dad for their support, not only as an athlete, but as a coach. Dad missed very few games when I coached at Northfield. He lived an hour away, but made, I think, every game but one over a course of about 5 or 6 years. I appreciate getting to share my experiences with him. Mom's been very supportive and is also there for all the big games as well. Thank you both for your loving support. We all have coaches who shaped our lives. Russ Sutton coached me in junior high football, basketball, Babe Ruth, and freshman baseball. He was passionate, instilled discipline, and pushed us to be our best at all times. I basically followed in his footsteps as a teacher and a coach. I played for Craig Moore my sophomore year, Gary Cheeseman as a junior and senior, and Larry Winterholder at Taylor University. All were great coaches and mentors who helped push me to be a better player, molded me into the coach, the man I am today. I'm very thankful for their influence. I was fortunate to have a great mentor at Northfield. I was a JV coach under Craig Weingartner. The 2 years I worked under him, the varsity was 57-5. He was willing to give up a program after 25 years at the helm to a 27-year-old rookie. And he left me talent. I really appreciated that. We went 44-10 my first 2 years. A lot of guys would have hung around for those wins. He won 361 games. He would have reached 400 had he kept those teams. But Coach Weingartner turned that talent group over to me. He felt I was ready, and for that I'm thankful. After winning the first state title, Coach Weingartner said to me, "I knew you would do it." He didn't say could do it, he said you would do it. That meant a lot to me to think that a guy of his caliber believed in me, and I appreciate that very much. I'd like to thank both ADs I've worked for. Jim Kaltmark was a huge supporter and mentor to me as a young coach. Since then, I played under the greatest athletic director of all time, me, for the last 16 years. I say that jokingly, but I will share a very big secret. Your odds of being a long-time coach greatly increase when you're the athletic director. So many coaches don't get more than a couple, 3 years to prove what they can do. I get to do it as long as I want. I can't say enough about those who coached alongside me for 26 years. Again, I'm not here without each and every one of those guys. Randy Keypaper and Troy Miller were absolutely great to work with at Northfield. I've never had a staff more knowledgeable and on the same page. Steve McCarty, John Higgins, Steve Lane, Ryan Rosine, and Josh Merrick, who also played for me, were fantastic. Bob Banner, Ryan Jones, Ken Davis, Travis Huffman, Bill Hess, and my dad at Blackford have been outstanding and helped me build our program there. All those and several others, no matter how long a stint they worked with me, made life a lot easier, let me vent, and helped me keep my sanity at times. Better yet, they were and are quality individuals. Thanks for being a part of my journey. This recognition is about all of us. I've been mentored and coached by some of the greatest coaching minds in baseball. Chris Rude was a huge mentor my first year. The coach at Wabash unfortunately died before the second season, my second season. Chris seemed harsh, but he was hilarious. We can tell all kinds of stories about him if you don't know him. My favorite story was from a former player of his. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is hilarious. They played so poorly one day, couldn't hit the ball, and they were driving back from the game. This kid said, "Coach, stop the bus over the Wabash River, grabbed the bats, pulled them out of the bag, screamed at him, says, 'You don't need these, I'm going to bleep and get rid of them,' and he threw them into the river." Can't imagine what would happen if we did that today, and I gotta admit, I probably would have went back and got the bats later. I've coached against several Hall of Famers in my career, and those games were always challenging yet rewarding, win or lose. Greg Marchand and I battled it out for years. I've coached against Bill Jones, Brian Dudley, Gary Rogers, Andy Owens, George Ferris, Brian Keefster, Tim Bourdonnais, Bill Stout, Rick Atkinson, and Don Sherman. Sherman probably doesn't remember this, but he actually talked me out of going to the college level when I was considered doing so. Sherman pulled me aside and said, "Tony, high school kids care a lot more about team. Stay put." I listened, and I'm still there. I got to coach with Jack Campbell when he coached the we coached the North All-Stars in '06, along with Roger Probst. I've coached against others who may be standing here someday if they stick with it. Casey LeDuc, Justin Kiefer, Jack Rupley, Ryan Berryman, Shane Edwards, Brad Douglas, Brad Buckingham, Dave Newen-Schwander, Mike Scott, Mark Grove, Dean Lehrman, Lee Selvey, and my good friend Jeff Glosser, who won the state last year. Forgive me if I left you out. I've coached against a lot of guys, but I've enjoyed coaching against all of you. I do want to single out Casey LeDuc, who played Central. I used to take my Norse down to play the spring trip there. We started the season every year. Casey promptly beat me 17 out of 19 times. If it wasn't personally for Casey, I would be in the Hall of Fame 2 years ago. So why Blackford? I got asked that a lot. In fact, I had people try to talk me out of going to Blackford. You got a great thing going at Northfield, what are you doing? I felt like I had no more to accomplish at Northfield. I'd done about everything I possibly could as a coach, and I needed a new challenge. Maybe I was in the right place at the right time for 20 years and just was fortunate to have. In fact, one dad told me after I won the second state title, and when you won the first one, I thought, yeah, it's probably the kids. And then you won the second one, I thought, maybe you can coach. But I forgot where I was. But anyway, I was at Blackford. We went 14-14 my first year, and then the 2 or 3 year cycle hit that everybody told me was coming, in which Blackford couldn't win anything, with the exception of maybe girls soccer. The second year we went 4-23. The third year I went 8-21. Now when you're used to winning 22 games a year, going 12-44 is like getting hit in the face with a brick. I went home numerous times wondering what the heck was I doing. I wanted to run. My wife often reminded me, you wanted the challenge. And she's right. That's why I left. So we stuck with it, and the next year we won 17 games and won the first sectional in any sport in 8 years. We had some great kids, but we just didn't have a lot of talent at the time. And to give you perspective, during those years, the basketball team went 1-71, the football team went 4-26. And by the way, unless you're under a rock, Luke Brown helps a lot when he comes with him. Despite that, like I said, we had great talent, won the sectional. We won 19 games last year, and I have the whole team back this year. We dropped the 2A, so I'm excited about what's ahead for the Blackford Bruins. I'm glad I took the challenge. It's been challenging, and it's still a work in progress, but I'm proud of the kids and the staff and what we've accomplished in 6.5 years. We went through the low blows, but we persevered. I hope, win or lose, successful or not, I was a role model and helped mold men of character. Yes, I'm smart enough to know that in the end we're usually rewarded for wins. But all the wins in the world mean nothing if those I coached got nothing out of playing for me other than learning how to play baseball. I think I was successful, but you'd have to ask the kids who played for me. And some of them are there. Go ahead and ask later. I do have a pretty good sense of humor, so I'm going to share one. I think this is funny. You may think it's stupid, but I'm going to share it anyway. It cracked me up. I'm sitting there one day about 2 weeks ago thinking, this is one thing that will never come out of anybody's mouth in this room. Man, I hope someday I can join Don Larson, Gil Hodges, Scott Rowland, Ken Schreiber, and Tony Ugan in the Hall of Fame. Not happening. Seriously though, I'm humbled by all this. I'm no better than anybody else in this room, no matter what you've accomplished. I can't say enough how thankful I am to do what I do and to work with a lot of great kids and coaches. I've received great support from the administration of schools at Northfield and Blackford, and get fantastic support from my family and my staff. I want to thank Shane Edwards for nominating me, because this obviously doesn't happen if he doesn't do so. Thanks to all the coaches in this room for what you've done for our great game in Indiana baseball. To those still coaching, please don't let wins and losses define who you are. I think you're truly defined by how you represent yourself in the game we all love, and the positive things you do for your kids. It's those notes you get 10 to 20 years later that share the impact we've had on those kids that make this such a rewarding profession. On behalf of all the kids you coached, thank you. Thanks to Terrace, Braden, Jason, Chad, Matt, and Darren for being here. They're over here, and they already shared that if their names weren't mentioned, they were going back and complain about it, so I threw that in there. Thank you guys, and I do really appreciate you guys being here. There's always a fear nobody will show up. Thanks to the Association and the Hall of Fame for all your efforts and for making this all possible. I truly appreciate it. I thank the Lord for blessing me with the ability to coach. To Him goes all the glory. And in conclusion, I'm truly honored and accept this recognition on behalf of everyone who played for us and every coach and person who assisted me along this journey. Thank you from the bottom of my heart very much. Thank you.
Bio would say he played for a legendary coach in LaPorte. I think his name was Schreiber. Now he's creating his own legend as a slicer coach, and with great success in 21 and a half years. 5 conference titles in that tough Duneland Conference, 8 sectionals, 3 regionals, and a 2000 state title. 6-time District Coach of the Year, a State Coach of the Year, and as well a District 4 National Coach of the Year title. Very much involved with the IHSBCA. He served as a president on the board of directors and served on many of the committees. He is one who bleeds slicer baseball, and now gets the opportunity to join his legendary mentor as the 197th inductee into the Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame, Mr. Scott Huff.
First of all, I'd like to thank the IHBCA members for the confidence and believing that I belong in a group like this, what a group this is. Mike Schwartzentruber, if you're out here, thank you for nominating me. I want to congratulate Brian, Tony, George, and Clint on your inductions tonight, and to Ray, thank you for all you do for the Indiana High School Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm accepting this award tonight not just for myself, that'd be a little selfish, but I am accepting this award for LaPorte High School, LaPorte baseball program, and the community of LaPorte. I feel awards like this happen because somewhere along the line, there were people or events that fueled the fire and passion for the game. And in my case, it was my former coaches, Little League, through college, my former teammates, coaches who I've met along the way through the IHSBCA and the ABCA, people like Terry Gilbert, Dave Pishker, Steve Strayer, Greg Dykus, our former coaches in the Duneland Conference, our current coaches in the Duneland Conference, and so on. To all of you, I say thank you for fueling the fire and passion in me for the game of baseball. When I was asked what I felt about being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the only thing I could think of was the number of people that should be standing right here with me. And there are a lot of them, and some of them I will, I'm sure, I'll be able to not be able to mention tonight. However, there are a few people that have a larger share in this, and that's my family. They're the true Hall of Famers here. Thanks. They've allowed me the opportunity really to never grow up. They've sacrificed more for me so I can do something I love, coach baseball. Seated out here at our table, my mom and dad, Carl and Rose. Thank you for instilling in me what work ethic means and for the decision-making abilities to know the difference between right and wrong. Sorry. To my sons, Kevin, his girlfriend, Emily, Kyle, his fiancee, Gabby, our first grandbaby, Adeline, Travis, and his guest, Kelsey. To you guys, I hope I never pressed too hard for you to be more than what you wanted to be, and I sure hope I am a good example for you in your life. To my wife, Pam, the true love of my life. You never really complained about all the hours upon hours that we spent working on the field, of course playing the games, practices, summer ball, bringing out lunch to us on those long summer days on the field is more than anyone could and should ask for. I think the only time you ever complained was when I made what you felt was a poor move and we ended up losing. Thank you so much for your love and support. So the belief is that in order to be successful, you need to surround yourself with very good people. So I have too many to mention here, but I am going to mention as many as I can in my 5 minutes that I'm given here. To my former and current assistant coaches, been nothing but loyal and supportive. Thank you so much. To Mr. Ed Gillen and Mr. Greg Handles, who had the confidence to hire me after Ken Schreiber retired with over 1,000 victories and 40 years of coaching. Thank you for your support and confidence. Ed, I'm going to be back there. To the late Coach Ken Schreiber, Coach, I hope you're proud of what we've done with your program that you've spent so much time and effort on. To our current and former superintendents, Dr. Hinckley, Dr. Muth, Dr. Montgomery, Randy Thorpe, Mark Francisconi, our current principal, Ben Tongo, thank you for your support in allowing me the opportunity to continue to coach while carrying on a professional career as an administrator in our corporation. And most important, I want to thank all my former and current players who played for me. This award is yours much more than it is mine. And I thank you for all your time and effort as a slicer and putting up with me, of course. And to anyone who I've not mentioned, thank you so much. You're truly a part of this as well. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of the paradoxical commandments, but when I first got this job, I felt like I had to have something. You know, the Notre Dame played like a champion today. I couldn't copy them, so I had to find something. And I found these about 22 years ago, and they're still hanging over my desk. I printed them on an orange sheet of paper. That orange sheet of paper is now pink because it wore out. But I try and follow these as much as I can, day in and day out, on and off the field. So if you don't mind, I'd like to end my acceptance speech tonight with just a couple of these commandments. They're called the Paradoxical Commandments by Dr. Keith. Some people are illogical and unreasonable and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of being selfish or having an ulterior motive. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you could win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyways. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyways. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyways. What you spent years building could be destroyed overnight. Build it anyways. Give the world the best you have, and you could get kicked straight in the teeth. Give the world the best that you have anyway. Again, thank you all. Anyone involved, thank you, and may God bless you all.
I was able to watch him play in high school when Vince Sands played Jasper, and when the Sycamores played while he was at ISU, where he earned all conference honors and all region honors. He got drafted by the Rockies in 2000. Within 3 seasons, he was in the major leagues with the Rockies, where he spent 8 seasons. Followed that with 6 seasons with the Houston Pirates, the Padres, and the Royals. As one running the Hall of Fame, it was always an opportunity when a player was in the major leagues to see if they would help in some way. Clint was always very helpful in signing items. We'd get to go to Mom's house and pick him up in Vincennes, and he was very supportive of the Hall of Fame and what we were trying to do. I think it's now fitting that he has an opportunity to be a part of that Hall of Fame which he supported as the 198th inductee into the Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame, Clint Marmas.
Thank you so much, Rick. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start this off. Foremost, I couldn't be more honored to be here tonight and to be receiving this award. It's great to be here, and wow, what a couple speeches to follow. I'll tell you, you're not much of a speaker, but I'll do this I can here. First, I'd like to start off with thanking my wife and my family and my kids for coming out. The support that they had through my career, I wouldn't be here tonight, and I truly believe that. My wife has been my rock, especially during the down times in my career. I had a few of them, but she never let me get down, and never let me get too high as well. But I think we moved 18 times since we've been married, traveling around the country and trying to trying to make sure that she stayed with me and brought my kids with me as well, because that was obviously very important to me, that I had my family with me while I was playing. Those of you that are baseball people here, which I'm sure there's a few of them in here, know that at the professional level, just because you're home doesn't necessarily mean you're home. I'd be fortunate to get 3, maybe 4 hours with the kids in the mornings, and then I'm at the field by noon, all day, gone all day, and then by the time I get home, they're asleep, and next thing I know, they're waking me up early in the morning when I'm dog tired. But those are the days I miss, and couldn't be more thankful for that. So thank you guys, love you guys. I'd like to thank my mom for being here, my friends and family, and all the supporters that supported me through my career. I honestly wouldn't be here without you guys as well, and it's been a great run. So I'm going to answer one of the questions that I get answered pretty much every time I walk around back home, and anytime I see anybody from back here. So what are you doing now? Now that you're done, I'm retired, been done playing baseball for about 3 years now, and that is coaching. Believe it or not, I'm trying to be a coach. It's a lot harder than what it seems. I'm not gonna lie. The parent-pleasing thing, I'm still trying to figure that out too. But our kids, my son Wyatt is 12, our daughter Whitney is 9. My wife as well is a coach. So we try to coach both of our kids in all their sports. Wyatt plays baseball, basketball, and soccer. Whitney softball, basketball, and soccer. And so if you can imagine, it's a full year, non-stop, where practices we're going and doing. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. Very thankful for that. Moving on, got a lot of people to thank as well. I'd like to start off with the most important man in my life, who is not here with us tonight. My dad. I wouldn't be up here tonight. He had the most impact in my life, on and off the field, and couldn't be more thankful for all that he did for me through my career. Starting with some coaches from Little League to college here. Coach Beard, Coach Booth, Coach Hutchison, Coach Henderson, Coach Halsman, Coach Tyson, Coach Thompson, Coach Rhodes, the Indiana Bulls organization, Flip, thank you, and the Evansville Black Sox. From Little League through high school, a lot of these men right here played a huge role in my success and what allowed me to get to the college level, and I feel prepared me for that level. I would also like to thank Paul Grease and Bill Carey for all your support. And I appreciate you guys pushing as hard as you did to try to get me up here tonight. And I honestly believe that I wouldn't be up here with you without you guys as well. Coach Condon, Coach Hannes, and Coach Warren, the 3 college coaches that I played for to help prepare me to the next level. Huge impacts in my career, and I'd like to mention them and say thank you as well. And being a coach and trying to be a coach at this point in my career, I can honestly say I know the feeling, the impact that it's made in my life, and what you guys do. All of you who have coached and that are coaching, you guys are making imprints on young men's life that you'll never understand how impactful that is. And I can't thank the guys that I played for enough. And moving on, I'd like to talk a little bit about my high school career. And when I was playing at that level, I was a little bit raw. You could say I was a pretty raw baseball player at that point. But wanting to be a Major League Baseball player from when I was my son's age at 12 and getting the opportunities to play at the high school level, I think it started to set in, and this probably isn't going to happen for me at that level. I was hoping to maybe play at the college level and maybe move on, and that was that was kind of where I was at that point. Moving to college and getting the opportunity to play at junior college in Southern Illinois, I was able to play for a great coach who taught me the game of baseball, and he gave me opportunities to move from the outfield actually to shortstop, which is where I ended up being drafted. But getting a little bigger and a little stronger and having some success and learning and understanding how the game is played at the college level, I was able to transfer to Indiana State and buy myself some opportunities there, playing for Coach Warren and Coach Annis, and you know, having some success that year brought some professional scouts around, which was obviously a very, very neat honor for me, and getting drafted by the Colorado Rockies. I was drafted in 2000 and moved into pro ball. I've obviously got a couple memorable moments at the professional level. Starting off, I was a rookie. First opening day, I get to face Trevor Hoffman in the 9th inning, game on the line, and run into a fastball, hit a walk-off home run, and it's going to be a hard one to beat. Well, it ended up being a very hard one to beat. I spent the rest of my career trying to beat that and never even come close to it. But it was a great way to start my career. You know, I look at as far as high school coaches go, and trying to become a coach. I help out at a high school where my kids go to school, as also, like I had said, coach our kids as well. And you try to find ways. As a player, it was pretty easy for me to try to bring guys closer, make sure that everybody's a part of it. And you say hi to everybody every day. You never walk by somebody without saying hi. That doesn't seem very hard to me. At the professional level, it got to be, I guess, pretty hard for a lot of guys. But a lot of teams I was on, you know, it was one of those where you try to be the best teammate you can be and bring everybody close. The best teams I played on, we all had this connection. We all gelled together, and it made it fun. And those years were our most successful years. I was fortunate enough to play in on four playoff teams, and some of my fondest memories are of those seasons. Do I miss playing? I don't miss the grind as much, to be honest, but I do miss being in the clubhouse and being around the guys, the plane rides, the bus rides after a plane ride, not the minor league bus rides, but I do miss my times and I miss those times. And I guess in finishing, I'd like to comment or maybe say a little bit of what I believe got me to the big leagues and what kept me in the big leagues. Obviously, growing up in Southern Indiana, I'm very proud to be from this area, and the people from that area are very hardworking people. My parents being a lot of that, they instilled the work ethic in me, and it was never hard for me to show up and put the work in. Like, I never looked at baseball. I love baseball. I'm very passionate about the game, and I enjoy the process. But it surprised me when I got to the professional level, and how many guys just wanted to show up and play. Well, like I said, I enjoyed the working process. I never looked at taking a lot of ground balls and taking a lot of swings in the cages as work. And you know, that being said, the work ethic that I brought, I tried to bring every day. I live by ACE. This is what basically I live by through my career. Your attitude, your commitment, and your effort. You can bring that every single day. That's what basically you have control of in this game. If you bring that every single day, then good things are going to come your way. And I honestly believe that by living that through my career, it brought me opportunities when I was struggling and when I wasn't playing at my best. Teams were a lot more willing to give me other opportunities from there. So that being said, the more you put into this game, the more you get out. Thank you again so much for having me tonight. This is a true honor, and very blessed to be up here. Thank you again.
As the executive director of the IHSBCA, he and I have had many long conversations. Conversations sometimes about baseball, sometimes about the IHSBCA, sometimes about the Hall of Fame, and sometimes just about what's going on in life in general. Over those conversations, I learned he is, in my thoughts, a better person than he was a coach. However, successful as a coach, amassing 300+ wins in 21 years at Eastbrook and Huntington North, and the successes he's had as a pitching coach at Huntington College, the IHSBCA has been and is the benefactor of those traits that have made him a good coach, a good executive director, a better individual, and a friend. The 199th inductee into the Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame, Mr. Brian Evans.
First of all, I want to thank God for being here. This award is very humbling to me. It's affected me in ways I couldn't believe. To try to recap your life in 5 to 8 minutes is amazing, because I feel like I've lived multiple lives in a lot of different places and done a lot of different things. And God has blessed me everywhere I've been. There's people here tonight from every walk of life that I've been a part of, whether it's the Coaches Association, Eastbrook, Indiana Wesleyan, Huntington College, which is now Huntington University. It's just been a tremendous honor, and I can't tell you how humble I am to even be here. Before I start, my family's over here. I want to thank my wife. I have no idea that when we got married, I don't think she knew what a coach was going to have to deal with. I've been very blessed to have her, and I'm very thankful for that. For my family, I've had the opportunity to coach with my son. My daughter has been tabbed the executive director by Scott Hughes. So if you come to the registration table, she's actually running the show. My sister and nephew are here this evening. She's attended a lot of events for me. My in-laws are here this evening, my family. I want to thank all you guys for coming. Tony, played against your teams, always very good. Well-deserved honor. Scott, never played against your teams. You're an incredible person. I've got to know you and appreciate it. Clint, bond will share forever going in. Appreciate the time today. If we ever get to Colorado, we won't stop. I guarantee you. I grew up in Delphi, Indiana. And most of you probably don't know where that is. It's around Lafayette. We were black and gold because Purdue was black and gold. We're an Oracle. That's another story altogether. I don't even want to tell you what that is. We were about faith, family, and sports. Went to a funeral on Wednesday. My dad's brother died. And his kids were telling a story about he had a Cubs banner above his bed in the nursing home until the day he died. I didn't have a chance. I was a Cubs fan. I didn't know why. You know, I grew up, we had to watch the Chicago Bears, and they were terrible. Cubs, our TV all came out of Chicago. Take my dad to games every year along with his brothers. We were in the Wrigley Field one year when Harry Carey was in the booth with Ronald Reagan. We get home and Mom says, "Did you see Ronald Reagan today?" No, Mom, I didn't see Ronald Reagan. He was in the booth with Harry Carey. Wrigley Field's always had a huge part in our life in terms of just sports. My family, my dad coached me. Little League, Babe Ruth, he was just always there. It wasn't like families going to games today where you're all together. You know, like you go to a travel game today or a high school game, here comes mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, pull up the motor home. My parents worked. The only time I saw my dad is when he was my coach. He didn't really get a chance to come to many of our games, and I didn't hold that against them, they just had to work. I remember one time when we went to Little League, we'd always pile in the back of a pickup truck and go to Dairy Queen for banana split. Boys, I know it's not the Texas Roadhouse, but it was really good stuff for us back then. Because we didn't go to Dairy Queen, you didn't have a lot of money to do that. Started playing Babe Ruth. Guy comes down to the Riley Park Annex, very competitive. His name was Jake Burton. Didn't know who he was. His teams were always very competitive. He ended up coaching McCutcheon later on, but I met him at a very early age. 1973, my grandpa and my dad take a trip to the state finals in Indianapolis to watch Spider Field's Lafayette Jeff team play. My cousin Bobby was the first baseman. Grandpa about kills us on the way down. Grandma's in the back seat with me screaming because she doesn't like us driving. We got there, we got down, back. I didn't even know what Busch Stadium was. I go down there, watch the game, got the TP out in the outfield for you old timers. I think I was hooked on the state finals from that point. Went back in there and went out. When we were in high school, we were terrible. We used to have to go to Lafayette Jeff, and Fred Campbell's down there from West Side. He's in the Hall of Fame. Spider's down there. We couldn't play very well. We just didn't really have much of a chance to play. But we got a new field when we were sophomores, so we moved up on the hill. If you've ever been to Delphi, you used to play down in the park. When it floods, you can guess what the park does. Then we had a cinder track around the outfields. For young kids, you don't even know what that means, but there was no track there. That's just where you ran. If you kept to the left of the foul pole in the parking lot, it was a double. If you hit it over the tennis courts in the right field, it was a home run. That was ground rules. I mean, that's basically our high school baseball. So we move up on the hill and we win. And we pitch a game. I think I was a junior. I threw a no-hitter against Rossville. And I thought, I go the next morning, the athletic director says, "Nice job." I said, "Mr. Ebright," I said, "It's Rossville. They're not like they are now." I said, "They were very good." He goes, "Anybody with a bat is dangerous, son." He said, "That's a nice accomplishment." And at that point, it's like, okay, maybe I can do something with baseball. So I went to college. My dad had a heart attack when I was a junior. He survived it, but it actually steered me to Huntington College. I probably would have gone to Purdue and not played baseball. Met a lot of people in this room at that experience at Huntington University, Huntington College. It switched its name at some point. Very good experience for me. A lot of friends today. Coach Frame and I played together, and we're still coaching together to this day. So a lot of good memories from the university there. One thing I remember about college is my dad and mom hardly ever came to games, or my grandpa, but they all came to Marion College. Now, for those of you that were old timers, there's a Marion and a Marianne, and that's how you had to call it. We went to Marion, Indianapolis. They had a picket fence, a snow fence in the outfield. They rolled it out, that's what they had. I pitched down there, my grandpa got to see me play. I think it was the only time he ever really watched me play baseball. But he loved the game. It just wasn't something he had time to do. But they finally got to see me play. My first teaching job was in southern Indiana at a place called Brookville. Scott Hughes was in my 7th grade math class. Became friends with the family, been a lifelong relationship. My wife is from there, my in-laws are from there. You ever go to Brookville, the Dairy Cottage is a landmark, home of the G-Boy and JoJo's. So obviously you want to stop and eat, but that was my first stop. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I ran into Jim, Scott's dad, and man was full of passion. He taught me, he was the most positive person I was around in coaching. He's just a great man. My journey took me back to Eastbrook, where I ended up coaching 3 sports. My athletic director, his wife, Dave, and Marvin March are here. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to coach. I was telling Dave that my first interview was at a Pizza Hut on Kim Road in Marion. Dave calls me up, we're going to meet. We go over there, he says, "Hey, I'm taking your name to the school board Monday night from baseball coach. Jimmy had just left, and you're my guy." It's okay. So here I am as a young coach. I have no idea what's going on. But I got to mention a story with Jimmy real quick. Jimmy's over here, Jim and Rhonda. We had a lot of fun. I think we coached together 2 years, and it was just hilarious. Jimmy invited me home to eat supper with him one night. Rhonda had cooked steaks. Jimmy forgot it was his anniversary. So it was a good meal, but I felt completely out of place. But it was just one of those things that if you've ever been around Jim, Jim was fun. Jim taught me a lot about things. We had a lot of good memories. And Eastbrook was a great community. There's people here tonight from Eastbrook. Caldwell family, Coach Hess, who worked with me and played for me, Zach, Joneses, Big Don, Chris, a lot of people here from Eastbrook. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I'm looking around. I don't know if Brownie's in here or not. But there he is. He's now the coach there. Eastbrook was a great place. It was a community. I coached junior high basketball for years. I was telling David about a story where he broke a door, and I won't get into that. But we had some of the most fun ever just because I coached those kids in junior high. We went in to play high school. We loved it. It was like a giant family. Coach Hess was a part of an '89 group that had a lot of seniors. Luke and Todd were part of an 04 group that had a lot of seniors. We won a couple sectionals along the way, which is something that there wasn't a lot of that going on, because back then it was a one-class system. You had to play Marion, and Marion was really good. Coach Weissel was a good coach. But a lot of these people have an impact on my life. I coached with Chris for several years at in Indiana West End, and just these people are people that you bond with as you go through life. Also, I got to this conference, and we're playing this double round robin thing. I'm in this MIC, I'm like, why are we playing all these games against these teams? They're really, really good. I'm a young coach, I'm like, this is tough. And then you got Brian Dudley, you're playing double against Wapahani. You're playing Chris Rude, who's kicking your butt all the time with Wabash. I was his 300th win. He comes up after the game, we got one hit by Donnie Blair, and he goes, man, you're doing a great job. He's 11-0. What he saw in me was the passion for the game. He's like, stay with it, don't give up. But in that conference, there was 8 schools. Ty Calloway's in the Hall of Fame, Greg Marchand's in the Hall of Fame, George Ferris is in the Hall of Fame, and now I'm in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how many conferences have 4 of their 8 coaches at one point that would be in the Hall of Fame. I couldn't figure out why it was so tough. Now I can understand why. Rick Atkinson's over in, he's another Hall of Famer, he's over in Gas City. He took me to my first clinic. He was going to become president, so he said, you're going to be the district rep. I said, okay, what do I do? He said, I'll figure it out. We're going to go to clinic, we're going to sleep in the same bed together. I said, really? You know, I've been 25 years, this is a big guy, you know. And Coach Martz, and I've heard some of the stories about what Coach Atkinson would do to you while walking down the hallway, and I thought, I don't know that I would sleep in bed this morning. So we'll do that, we'll sleep back to back. And if you know Rick just, humor runs his life. He's just a funny person, and he's a great person. But he got me started in the association, and I guess, you know, I'll never forget that, because that's kind of where my path has taken me this day. 04, it was my last year at Eastbrook. We got beat in the regional down to Sheraton. I went back to Huntington, just take a teaching job. I'd been doing the college and high school at the same time. So it's kind of a natural transition to go back. And I've been there before, and I've actually had 2 stints there, one in the middle of Indiana West End. But what I can remember about that is just the players that I've worked with. Terrence here, Connor's here. There's several other people that couldn't come down tonight because I guess it's a little nasty up north, and they're actually teachers and ADs and things like that now. But just the relationships I've built, we had some of the best babysitters for our kids because we got the players' girlfriends to come over. And my son, in the 8th grade when he played football, Steph had a Nova. And if you guys are old, this was a hopped-up thing. Your dad had a car. So he was getting picked up by this college girl as an 8th grade boy at football practice in a big hot car. And so he was just like, it was an amazing experience. But we had a lot of good people in our lives that God had blessed us with that just are still in our lives today. Part of my journey along the way is I spent 5 years in Indiana West End. Great people, great university, lots of good relationships there. There's so many people there, so many conversations. Tim and his dad are here tonight. Unbelievable relationships that you build that last a life. I've been to weddings. I've been a part of these kids' lives. Relationships are the most important thing in the world to me. It's about building relationships with people, players. I don't coach. I never won an award. I feel like I'm a little bit like Scott. It's like there's 100 other people that do this far more than I do. But I've stayed with it a long time, and I guess there's a reward in the fact that I'm just persistent. 2012, I got the honor of taking over this job for Bill Jones. This is a monumental task, boys. Man, I didn't understand what we got ourselves into, but the first thing I did was find some good people. I got to thank the council. They're all sitting here, down through here. Jeff, Phil, Shane, Ben, Jeremy, Kevin, Scott. I don't know what I'd do without them. We're like a family. Everything we do, this association is ran by people. It's all volunteer. And these people are outstanding people. Just putting this thing on tonight, putting this clinic on, bringing 500 people to Indianapolis every year, running our own All-Star Series. I mean, I can't thank these guys enough. I don't have enough money in the world to give them. I left Indiana West in 2013, went back to Huntington, which is really funny because that same year I got the opportunity to coach the high school team. So I'm serving in the fall and winter as pitching coach. coaching the high school team. Coach Drummond's here tonight. Coach Ty, my son, two people that we work with. Phenomenal 3 years being around those guys. Alex and Ian are here tonight. Connor pitched for me there. We actually took a lot of the high school kids over to college and they pitched for us there. Again, it's about relationships. It's about getting involved in people's lives. Walker, you're here somewhere. I don't know where you are. Stick your hand up. Yep. Just all these kids that you have an opportunity to impact. His dad and I played a lot of softball together. Athletics has got a lot of good things that go along with it. It's relationships that last your whole life. I'm coaching now at Huntington still. I enjoy that. I've been blessed to maintain those relationships and stay involved in baseball, which I hope I always get the opportunity to do. I've got some good friends here this evening outside of baseball. I know where Neil and Ken are at, first roommates outside. The house had no heat upstairs. It had a floor, a space heater. It had a couch. I got the floor, and Ken got the couch, and Neil got the bed because he was the one renting the house. And just the relationships that last a lifetime. Kip Woods is here with them, a good friend of mine from Huntington. Pat Cox is another good friend of Huntington that's been here. I've been blessed with people outside of sports that are just come alongside you and provide a perspective to your life that you never would have dreamed of. I can't tell you how much I'm thankful for this opportunity, about how God's blessed me. I apologize if I forgot somebody, but I just really want you to understand that life is a journey. If you get up every morning and do what God wants you to do, good things are going to happen to you. Thank you.
One announcement, would Brian Kirkhoff please bring the raffle tickets up to the front while we finish this unbelievable night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an annual tradition for us to turn to our inside cover. We would do that at this time. And we always do these closing remarks by Jeanette Dunn, who's the granddaughter of our 2004 inductee, Doug Blue Prager, at the end of our banquet. It's called Baseball Heroes, and the source is unknown. Some people think that baseball is just a game. They are wrong. Baseball is about reaching deep inside yourself to catch the ball that can't be caught and hit the pitch that can't be hit. It's about the soul. Baseball is about bad hops, bad breaks, bad throws, and bad calls. It's about striking out and making errors. It's about overcoming all those things. Baseball is about kids who become stars, stars who become heroes, and heroes who become legends. I'd like to thank everyone for tonight. Let's again give a round of applause to all our inductees.